Okay, it's Peter here. This is just a quick shout out about SMS and all that kind of stuff to a couple of people, to Daryl and Randy and Ruth and other people who've asked me about SMS alternatives. And here we go. So there's one coming out on Thursday, and this is a big platform. It's got pretty much, as far as I can imagine, all the features you could ever want. It's very common with SMS platforms to get opt-ins and sending bulk emails and that kind of stuff, but almost no other SMS text platforms actually understand about autoresponder mentality, where we want to send a sequence of messages a certain number of days apart, regardless of when the user opts in. So this is one of those systems that will do that. So as I say, it's a full SMS marketing platform. It includes the autoresponders. It's got the short codes so that you can get people to subscribe to the list. Now my understanding of that is it's not just a short code, so you don't need to spend 3k on a number like 601123 or something. You can just use a long number, just an ordinary phone number, and those you can get from Twilio for $1 a month. Okay, and with click to call and all that kind of stuff, it's really not an issue to have a short code anymore. So you can just put the number on a mobile web page. They can literally just tap it to click up. It will come in their phone, and they can send the SMS message to it. Join pizza or whatever. I don't know why we all pick pizza as mobile marketing, but anyway. They'll get in the list. This platform is very well thought out. It does all the kind of as much as the compliance as it can, so it makes sure that the stop messaging is in there. It makes sure that there is a stop system in there, and all that kind of stuff, so that if people want to unsubscribe or you need to prove that they did subscribe, all of that is built into the platform itself. Now, the main attraction for me anyway is that it supports Twilio, because that's the kind of the easiest to understand and to finance, shall we say, of all of them. It does support some other mobile platforms as well, such as Easy Text and all that kind of stuff, who actually do proper short codes for $25 a month. If you want to get a shared short code, on that. But as I say, I'm going to probably use the long numbers myself. There is an OTO for an agency version, so if you want to use this for clients and get them to have their own login, there's the agency option for that. But the main thing about it is that they were going to launch this about 3 months ago, and they stopped. And I didn't know what happened, but basically they just made sure they went back and they made sure they crossed all the T's and I's to make sure that it was compliant, and that we weren't going to get into trouble instantly. So they made sure that all the start and stop messages and all that went in, and all that kind of stuff, and all the new regulations about the timing zones, which I didn't even know had happened. So apparently we're not allowed to SMS people in their local time location, basically between 9 and 9, to keep it simple. So you can't text them after 9 at night and before 9 in the morning. So, but that's their local time, so it doesn't matter where you are, it's where they are and where their phone is. So this system will actually intelligently work out where they are, and then send them the message at the right time. So even if you do a broadcast at 2 a.m. in the morning, and for them, they won't get it until it's actually 8 a.m. but 9 to 9 is easy to remember, after 9 a.m. in the morning, to make sure that it's compliant with the non-disturbance kind of things. Anyway, if you want to get it, it'll be click.com/CindySMS. But let me just try and quickly take you through. Now, I haven't got advanced access to this, unfortunately. I'm going to buy it tomorrow, on Thursday, just like you. But you can see that it's it looks pretty slick, and they've thought about it. It's about as sexy as a set of SS numbers can probably be, but you can see they've thought about all of the things. So it's SMS integration, so Twilio's the one I'm excited about. But as you can see, they also do Call Rail, Call Fire, Plivo, which I've heard of, Wemo, Tatango, Trumpier, and Wigio. It also has got email integration. It also supports HTML5, just generic autoresponders as well. with the non-API version of this, but if you've got any of those, it will support those as well. You've got analytics, so you can see exactly what your campaigns are doing, the open rates, click-through rate, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you can do your broadcasts, or you can automate, time schedule, and you can also do the actual autoresponder kind of thing where they're X days apart. You can embed the forms and that kind of thing, anywhere pretty much. And also you've got the keyword capture where you can take the message that they send you and use that as a shortcode, which is means that you can kind of filter them down to the places that they need to be. So if you're running a weekend campaign, you can do text. I can't think of a good abbreviation for weekend, but anyway, text Saturday, that's long, isn't it? But text, gosh, what's an abbreviation for weekend? Fun. Anyway, let's do that. So, text fun to get our weekend specials, okay? Something like that. And, the number you use will be, whatever normal number you use, but if they use fun, they'll get those coupons, and then when Monday comes around, you might do the Monday special, because it's your low, pizza sale day. So if they send MON to the code, they'll get a special Monday coupon or a special Monday recipe, ingredient, whatever. So you can do all that, and as I say, as far as I understand at the moment, you can do it with long codes as well as short codes. So the choice is yours, but normally short codes are very expensive. About 3k, and there's like an 8-week approval process, and there's all kinds of things, and it's different kind of things with different carriers. It gets quite involved, but you can get the shared short codes from people like Easy Texting, and they charge $25 a month if you want that, which is like the 313131, I think it is your number, but obviously it's subject to availability and their terms and conditions. And so just a long number, as I say, they can just click to call, and it's done. So this is kind of inside it. You can see it doesn't look particularly sexy at the moment, but you've got, it's very similar. You've got all the basic things down here. You can see, what's going on. Your log of stuff's going to come down here, and you can have different campaigns, different lists if you like, which you've got people's numbers in. As I say, they can auto join those lists, and then you can send out a message, to those. You can put, sign up forms on the web if you want to do it that way, or you can get them to text the number. Then you've got so you've got your actual broadcast message here. You can decide when you want to go out, but as I say, it's going to actually reschedule it for the local time of the user. I presume it also does that on the different coasts. So obviously PST are quite a little bit behind EST. So lunchtime EST can be quite early in the morning for them. So hopefully it will sort them out as well. But certainly if you're broadcasting to like the UK where I'm from, there's a 5-hour time lag, and you certainly don't want to be texting people at the wrong times. So broadcast message, very simple to do. You can do all the normal kind of so you've got your kind of I've got a name for this now. Dynamic fields, there we go. So if you've got their first name, whatever, you can put that into the message. It auto shortens all the URLs, by the way, to make them short so that they fit into the space nicely. And you can also schedule those messages. Now, the thing about the autoresponder messages is that you can create this follow-up series, by clicking there and creating it, and you can literally just drag in a new message, and you say how many days apart you want it to be. What kind of time you'd like it to go out at. As I say, we'll shuffle those around, and that kind of thing. And you can just drag out as many as you want, to do that. So if you've got a sequence of training or bonuses or thoughts or concepts to go through, or you're doing some sort of quote of the day sort of thing or something, or any sort of kind of club thing, then you can drip feed them the content no matter when they join, and you can see you get the message. You can reorder the messages there. You can see how they're doing with the open rates and the click-through rates and unsubscribes, and you can just determine the time that each one is sent, and you just add another message up there to create your sequence. So that's why this is great. And then you can integrate with these other things. I'm not too clear about that yet because I haven't done it, but and then you decide what service you want to do. Now they've done something clever which I don't quite understand with some cross communication. So if if your shortcode's on easy texting but you're messaging on Twilio, they will somehow cross sync them, and if they unsubscribe again it will cross sync them. So there's some clever stuff going on there. Without playing with it I can't really work out what they mean, but it sounds very clever anyway. And and that's kind of it. I mean, it's very simple. This is an empty account, so that's why it doesn't look particularly exciting. But the whole thing obviously about mobile is that with emails we might have big lists. You might have a list of 10,000 people or something. I was going to do something very dangerous I shouldn't do live, I guess, which is to do maths, but anyway. So if you've got a 10,000 list but only 20% of those people open, and then only 10% of those people click, you're actually really only talking to 200 people. Now it's not as fairy story as as everyone would want us to believe, in that people will just willy-nilly give us their SMS text numbers, because they know it's basically a direct line to them, so it has to be for something that they're going to value. But if you get 200 people to actually give you their SMS text numbers, they're pretty much definitely going to answer it. The statistics are something like 90 odd percent open text messages within 1 minute, and the click-through rate is something like 20 to 30%. Obviously it depends on the quality of what you're sending them, but it's something like that. So it's way better than email. Now obviously compared to other systems which has just come out, which are touting us the free unlimited kind of thing, that's very nice, and I fell for that as well. I even bought a new phone to put it on, but then there are just so many things that seem to be going a little bit strange about it, and I thought Twilio's pricing is basically less than a cent each. It's 0.0075 of a cent per message, and although you may get unlimited messages for $10, and that's actually quite attractive. $10 divided by that. Oh, hang on, that's gone. 0.0075 is about 1,300 messages. So for our $10 we get 1,300 messages. But to say if it's a list of 200 super keen people, that's you messaging them 5 times. And if you message them 5 times in a month, and they've given you their SMS number and they're saying yes please I want your stuff, and they're still not buying, and you're not getting your $10 back, then it's the campaign that's wrong, not the not the platform. So it wouldn't even help if you did have unlimited messages, because if they're not responding within 5 messages, then why are they going to suddenly respond within 8 or 10? So maybe you just need to at worst change the list, but probably more likely change the offer or the presentation of the offer, more likely, because the point with SMS is they're going to be getting the message and they're going to be opening it, and that's what we really want to happen. Now for a $50 campaign, at the 0.0075 thingy, we get almost 7,000 messages, 6,500 messages. So either that's a 6,500 list of phone numbers, which is actually pretty significant, to be honest. If you've got 6,500 people who've given you their phone numbers willingly, because of what you want, then they probably really want it, and you should be able to convert those, as I say, 20-30% of them should do something. Obviously there's all sorts of stories about high ticket webinars and all that, but maybe you're not doing those, but certainly in terms of lifetime value of the customer, and then buying maybe $30, $50, $100 profit kind of things, and more importantly for me, I'm going to use this to drive them to my webinars and my live casts, and my training courses and that kind of stuff, when I've got time to explain what's going on a bit better, or drive them to a mobile web page with a video on it explaining what's going on. So the communication of an SMS email, much like an email is not to explain the thing in full, because we've only got 140 characters, whatever it is, to do that in. but it's just to drive them to the place where we can explain it. Whatever that is, whether it's a in-person meeting or an actual voice phone call or a webinar or a live cast or a web page or your blog or whatever it is. But with if you've got a list of 6,000 people and you message them once a month, you should get a good thing like that. Or if you've got a list of say 3,000 people and you're messaging them twice a month, then that should be good. Or probably more likely, you've got 2,000 lists and you're messaging them 3 times a month. A couple of those might be to drive them with value kind of stuff before you actually try and sell them anything. But again, all that kind of selling and stuff is probably going to be done on the on the other end. The SMS is just to drive them to your actual destination. So that's probably a very simple platform to use. I don't even know what all the buttons are down here. But it's mainly the functionality of it. Obviously it integrates with Twilio, so you can get as many long numbers as you want. The call rates are very cheap. Obviously the US is cheapest. It's a little bit more to the UK, and certainly all the the weird countries. Sorry, I shouldn't say weird countries. All the less popular countries. I can't even say that really, but you know what I mean. The less SMS, high usage countries, let's call it that, are slightly more. But then you have to decide if that's the audience you want. If you don't want people in that country, then just don't take their numbers with that country shortcode. Segment them out and do a less frequent campaign, but to make sure you only get the people who are actually ready to to spend money. Whereas your local people, if you're in the US, or if you're in the UK like me in the UK, then it's basically very cheap to talk to those people. And as I say, if they've bothered to give you their mobile number, then they must actually be pretty seriously interested in what you've got to offer. So that's it. It looks very simple. It is very simple. It's very simple to use. But basically you can do just like email, you can do broadcast messages. You can do subscription messages, and unusually for an SMS platform, you can do autoresponder style messages. As I say, if you want to get this out to clients as well, there's the agency option in one of the OTOs, and they certainly seem to have done certainly some good thinking about how they can make it compliant and all that kind of stuff, so that we abide by the laws of mobile marketing. And that's it. Yes, you have to pay for your messages, but we should be looking at it that we're investing in the campaign, because if you're spending if you're running Facebook ads, and say just for the sake of it, say you're paying $1 per click, and let's say that you've got half of those to actually opt in, so you're actually paying $2 per click. If you rely on email, which only 20% are open and then only 10% are going to click through, and they're probably going to unsubscribe because they just get too much, then you're wasting really a lot of money there. Whereas if you can get them onto an SMS campaign, an SMS list, then that they're going to open. As I say, 90% of the people open within 1 minute, and the click-through rate is on average 30%. And if you're a proper niche marketer, you'd probably hopefully even do better than that. But the point is that SMS numbers are precious. People don't just give them away willy-nilly like they tell us that they do. So if there's somebody willing to give you the number, it's because there's a really good reason, and that they're seriously interested in wanting it. Like if they're after a new house, obviously they want to get house listings. If they've got a car and you're their preferred garage, obviously they want their car maintenance reminders. If they're in a club with you and you're releasing new content, then obviously they want a reminder that fresh content has been added to their course, which they paid for. And if you're going to tell them about other things that you're doing, other courses you're releasing, because they're following you, because they like your your news and your what's working now kind of things, and you're a blogger, and you tell them new blog post on this latest technique which is working for me, kind of stuff, then that is actually very high value stuff, and that's why they would give you their SMS stuff. But they're not that likely, except in sort of mass shopping niches, to just give you their number, just to be sold to endless coupons and stuff. I mean, obviously in handbags and shoe niches and that kind of thing, that can work, because they're ardent buyers. They know they actually want to buy more shoes and more handbags, but that's actually what they're looking to do. So that is value for them. But normal people aren't just going to give you their mobile number, which rings when they're in the toilet and on the bus and everywhere in bed. If they think you're gonna try and send them affiliate offers, from ClickBank or something, or JVZoo or something. So we do need to treat mobile marketing with some reverence, and to actually really make sure we deliver value. Also, we've got the added issue that we've only got 160 characters in full to do it. With the stop messaging, it's down to like 141 or something, I think. And so we're tending to use it to drive them to the things that we think they're interested in, where we can explain it in full, like a mobile landing page with video on it and that kind of stuff. So I might actually I'm gonna do 2 bonuses if you buy it through my link, which is there, click.com/CindySMS. So if you buy the which way around should we do it? We'll do it that way. Should we do it that way? I'm going to decide that in a second. Anyway, so the 2 bonuses. So one of them is, I've just said that we might want to put a video on a mobile page. Maybe you don't find that super easy. Maybe you don't want to send them to YouTube directly. You'd rather send them to to your own URL, with a YouTube video embedded on it, or Vimeo, or whoever it is, or self-hosted, whatever you want to do. So I've actually got a mobile website making platform. So it's a cloud-based system. There's nothing to download. You can just go there anytime. Create pages and sites and whatever, link them together. It's got all the nice kind of mobile navigation and stuff. I'll make another video of what it looks like later on, but it's very, very slick, and very, very super easy to use. There's no coding in it at all, and it's super mobile friendly. It's only mobile. It's not a blog with a mobile repurposer or something. So I will give you an account on there. I don't know what there will be some limit on that, but only to stop crazy people overusing it. But normal people, they'll have an account on there. And then the other thing I do is I've got a mobile content course up on Teachable, which explains there's some strategies of how to actually create mobile content that will keep people engaged, where it comes from, how to do it, how to make people react and interact with it, and that kind of stuff. So this is purely content. It's not about the mechanics of running a platform or setting up mobile numbers or anything like that. That kind of training will all be in whatever platform you pick, whether it's Cindy's SMS or another one. But most people, very rare that anybody tells you what the actual content is. And possibly as a more of a salesman stroke marketer, you might be thinking that you can just send them offers, and because they're on the mobile phone and stuff, that isn't necessarily the best thing to do. So this course will explain all that. So I can't quite decide which way round to do this, but basically if you buy the agency, you'll get both. That's the short answer. I'm not quite sure which is the most beneficial to do. Logically it would be the course for everyone, and then the page maker for the agency people, but obviously the agency people are going to want to use it for their clients, and that's not really what I want to offer. So it's probably the other way around, to be honest, Tim. So I think if you buy the front end, you'll get your own use site builder. Now you can export these sites and stuff, and you can manage them as you want. You could run multiple campaigns on it, but it's not really meant as an agency feature. It's meant really for you to use in your business, so that you can drive your SMS text campaigns to something sensible. And then for the people who buy the agency package, I'll give you the content course, so that you can work out how the best way to handle your campaigns for your clients. Let's put it that way around. I'd rather do it the other way around, but unfortunately it doesn't make sense with agency people to only have a single mobile page builder, and there are severe hosting costs involved with actually running that platform. So I can't just give out agency accounts if you buy Cindy's agency thing, because there's not enough money to handle it. Anyway, I'm waffling, but if you buy the agency, you'll get both bonuses. So you get the mobile page builder, or site builder I should call it, and the content course. I may change my mind and do it the other way around, because the content course is really what everyone should should know. But then again, everybody needs a mobile page builder, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But if you buy the agency, you'll get both. That's the only thing I can tell you for now. Okay, so that's it. As I say, if you want to get it, it's coming out Thursday, the 21st, which is tomorrow. You can go to clickjustclick.com/CindySMS, CINDYSMS. clickjustclick.com/CINDYSMS, Cindy SMS, and there is an early bird list up there to get advanced warnings and that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. It probably went on a bit longer than I was hoping to do, but at least now you're forearmed and forewarned about how kind of deep this platform is, and the fact that it can do so much. So that's it. I shall see you next time. Bye for now. Clickjustclick.com/CindySMS if you want to get it. Talk to you then. Bye bye.